What's up? So, we're hanging out here at the airport. Plane's about 3 hours late. This is the part they don't show you on the show. The waiting and the delayed flights and the boredom where you're sitting in a bar drinking beer and waiting on your flight, and obviously there's just not even any eye candy here. So, we're having a beer. We made some friends.
Can I insert stale beer and it smells like butt? It smells like butt in this whole airport.
Yeah, I got you. So, we're just hanging out. This guy owns a place called Jimmy's Bar in Eugene, Oregon. He's trying to get down to Pensacola for 2 days now. And me and Sean are going out to check out what is going to be the coolest thing you've ever seen Gas Monkey do. And I promise you, you're going to be amazed. It is, well, just gotta wait. Foreshadowing. What's gonna happen next? Okay, stay tuned on our channel here. If you're watching us on YouTube, cool. If you're watching us on other stuff, super cool. Just subscribe and pay attention because we're fixing to fuck some shit up.
Yeah, that's how I
John Cruz.
What's up, brother?
Worldwide Auctioneers.
Yes, sir.
So check this out, no trespassing.
Can I come in?
Yeah, because I own the place now.
Okay, good.
I need your help badly. What I'm fixing to show you is the accumulation of a gentleman's entire, almost adult life. He's approaching 80 years old right now, Mr. Denny Kannenberg. They call him Denny the Cannonball. He was a flat track racer, very, very wildly successful, sponsored by Harley Davidson and many other companies over the years. And he owned a company here called Sport Wheels. And I'll show you some pictures when we get inside, but this used to be Sport Wheels, which was basically motorcycle and snowmobile scrap yard slash fix-it yard slash parts yard. And it outgrew this place, so he moved it down the road about 2 miles. And this is his home. I came up here just a few months ago because my friend Ben told me that a lifelong friend of his dad was thinking about selling some of his stuff. You know, you're a car guy, you're a motorcycle guy, so I jumped in the plane and came up here. And I had a nice time with Denny and his wife for, I guess, an entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There is so much stuff here, it's absolutely insane. And you can't even imagine. I'm gonna take you to the big room first, but as you can tell, there's all kinds of memorabilia, signs. I mean, that BF
Great
Goodrich
signs,
tire batteries, double-sided neon porcelain. He kind of collected and kept the best of everything. Now down the street, he has a fix-it yard slash junkyard that's full of maybe 15,000 motorcycles. But here is where he kept kind of his collection, and it really is overwhelming. When I came up here and talked with him, I thought I was gonna buy, a couple motorcycles, a couple of sports cars, whatever. And as we got to talking, he was like, Richard, he goes, I have one daughter. I don't want her to deal with this stuff when I die. I've kind of hoarded all this stuff my whole life. And I'd really rather just let it all go. And so I am now the custodian of everything we're fixing to see. And I'm also, and now hopefully you are gonna be in charge of getting rid of all of this stuff and passing it on to the next collector and the next person that wants to be. And I do use the word custodian on purpose because this is some really, really classic stuff. Kannenballs Keepers. This is where he put everything. I mean, this is, I wish he was here today, but you'll get to meet him. And I came up here to try to buy, a couple of the good bikes, a couple of the good cars. And we got to talking and he said, Richard, I'm almost 80. And he goes, I'd rather just sell everything instead of piecemeal it out because, I'll be here for another 50 years trying to sell that thing or that thing or that thing. And so we made a deal and, well, welcome to Richard's Cannonball land. Look at this.
That's fantastic. I mean, this is 42 Indian with a sidecar. This is a pretty impressive piece walking in here.
It's an absolutely impressive piece, and the story that I got from Denny is that it is the last ones on the assembly line when Pearl Harbor was bombed on December 7th, right? That they stopped the assembly line. They were gone for 3 days. They came back. They finished the bikes that were being built, and then they started making stuff for the U.S. government. So I'm not sure if this is the last one or one of the last ones, but it is a 42, which is unheard of.
Special bike.
Very unheard of.
It's like a lot of almost brand new bikes in here too.
There is everything. That's why I brought you guys in, because this collection blows my mind. And it's the biggest, absolute biggest gamble I've ever made in my life. You know me. You know, you and I have sold a lot of cars and motorcycles together. I bought the land. I bought the houses. I bought the buildings. I bought every single thing you see here. And I hate to use the word bought. I think that Denny wanted to kind of push it this way. And so I said, okay, I'll take it all and I'll figure out what to do with it. And that's where I need your help. Because this is a lot. It's toys, it's memorabilia, it's clocks, it's, you know, cool tires, a jukebox. I don't even know how to make sense of the whole thing. Like this one right here was given to Big Daddy Don Gartlitz for winning NHRA in 1986. And they gave him this bike. And that's how it sits. It's brand new. It's got like 10 miles on it. There's Kawasaki triples in here. That's a Honda CBX with like 3 miles on it.
Well, there's no doubt a lot of treasures in here. And I just like to look at everything, maybe show it to me, and you know, we're in the solutions business, so I think we check it out and we'll come up with a good solution that works for you and works for, you know, his legacy, and we can
That's the story I want to tell.
Yeah, it should be.
I want to tell the story of Denny Kannenberg and really let people, I mean, if here he's a legend. He's written a few books. He was sponsored by Harley. I want to really, you know, to me, this is about being the custodian of this and making sure that it goes to good owners that are going to love it, treasure it the way that he did, because you see collections all the time and they're falling down and the tires are, you don't even see flat tires in here. It's unbelievable. He took care of this stuff, you know, but when it comes to the bikes, yeah, you know, I can kind of guess at what it is and what it's worth. But then we get into the memorabilia, we get into the cars, which you haven't even seen yet. It's going to blow your mind. And you get into stuff like this. This stuff I don't even know how to access. I don't know. It's amazing. And then there's things in here that I didn't even know were real things. Now this little specimen right here, imagine Richard Rawlings in 1986, 87, cruising on a GPZ 550. I mean, I was freaking Tom goddamn Cruise, cruising down, chasing the jets. I had this motorcycle back then. So that's the only one that I really know about. That's a brand new one. He said that he just bought because he liked it. But the amount of overall bikes, John, I don't know. I mean, you got to tell me, what do you think about all of this?
Well, there's some very, very incredible examples, and you know, we got a lot of collectors all over the world that would absolutely not just love the bikes, but appreciate that they are in such great preserved condition, but also that they're part of his collection. And that's a big deal. And we all like great stories to go with the cars and bikes that we own, and this is a tremendous story.
You could just take your briefcase off. One had your ham sandwich, the other one had your paperwork for work, you know, because you didn't have a computer back then or an iPad. And then when you get into the toys and everything, I don't know, because like,
oh, there's some special pieces in here.
Denny talked to me about this, and he goes, what do you think about that? And I said, Denny, I don't know. And he goes, well, it's yours now. What are you going to do with it? And I said, I'd have to bring somebody in. But he goes, well, Richard, he goes, I'm not going to tell you which one, but there's one in there that's probably worth $8,000. Do you know which one it is? Because I don't.
I have a pretty good idea. We inspect them, but yeah, we're certainly fans of important memorabilia and neat stuff, and a lot of people are.
I mean, we've got a collection of helmets everywhere. It's like every corner you look, it never stops.
Neat clock.
Now that one I kind of know a little bit about because I'm a sign freak and a clock freak. That is from maybe the late 40s, and it's a real Indian neon.
Mm-hmm. It's a great piece.
And we've got another one here that's probably from the 60s that works and everything. You and I both know signs and clocks and stuff.
Great condition.
What is that? Maybe 10 grand, 5 grand, 8 grand? Who knows? I don't know. I got to tell you about this, and this is crazy. This was an ad that was actually in Playboy magazine, but it was in a lot of other magazines, but Denny loved it because it was in Playboy magazine. And there's thousands of motorcycles here. And it says, can you find the Harley in this picture? It says, of course not, because things are different on Harley. This picture was taken right out there where we just walked in. His junkyard got so big that he had to move it down the street. We're only on about 4 acres here, and he's down there now with like 10 acres. Mm-hmm. And he's provided for his family, he's provided for himself. He's built a freaking killer life out of doing this. And as far as I'm concerned, I think he's done it the best of anybody. These bikes in here, there are so much that I have to learn, and hopefully your experts can help me learn.
Yep.
Like this one, I know this is an expensive street bike.
It's a great bike.
I don't know why I know it's a street bike, I just know it is. The BSA over here was owned supposedly by Ernest Hemingway's family and came from the estate. And then the really, really big one in the room, just like the Indian is in that room, this XR was given to him by Harley Davidson when he raced for him as a pro rider and flat tracker. I don't know. Is that bike 50 grand? Is it 100 grand? I don't know.
Well, what we do as an auction company is pull the marketplace together, and frankly, that's the best way to find out exactly what it is. And well, that's fun and exciting for us and for Denny to see what his collection does. It's also a real special opportunity for buyers, because generally you'd never have an opportunity to buy something like this.
No.
And that's really neat.
You could literally pick almost any bike here and go online right now and try to find one for sale in the same condition, and you won't find.
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Guys are buying 3 and 4 and 5 of these bikes to try to make one.
Yeah.
So he definitely knew what he was doing the whole time. And then we've got all this memorabilia, which I know some of it's BS, but this is a real deal little car. And that's a serious piece of memorabilia. There's things over here I don't even know. There's modern stuff, weird stuff.
Pinball machine back here.
Are you kidding me? It's Evel Knievel. This is one of the only things that I think I might want to keep myself. But I promised myself that I would, because I could end up like Denny Kannenberg real fast and just move in here and stay here and drink beer and look at all my cool stuff. Yeah. But so this is Evel Knievel. That's the stunt cycle from Atari that was Evel Knievel's. Mm-hmm. And even this is kind of stuff that I know has value. Somebody might pay $5, $10 for that can, or they might pay $5,000 or $10,000 for that wall. I don't know, but it's everywhere you look. It is literally everywhere you look. Look, there's Scooby-Doo right here.
What do we got back here in this room?
Oh, well, if you watched the last few auctions, you know what we have back here. I saw an auction the other day where one of these little 50Rs,
yeah, look at this.
It brought 20 grand. One of these Honda Trail 70s brought 17 grand. That's an LT gray, which you could buy through a catalog. The little Harley thing is worthless. But wow. You could be like, let's call it 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. There could be $50,000, $60,000 in this room.
They're neat pieces.
It's ridiculous. Now, let me take you downstairs where all the craziness is. So as you can tell, that room's full of nothing but books and memorabilia from printed stuff. I don't even know how to describe all this or what it is, but everything you see here I'm tasked with finding a new owner for. We've got a killer row of other, mini bikes or mopeds or what. Look at this. Have you ever seen one of these things? It like literally drives the motor for you in the front.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's cool or not. I just never seen one.
It's ingenious. Of course it's cool.
It's ingenious. We got a Bronco.
Yep.
We got a Deuce Coupe with a Ford motor in it, which is cool because most people put a small block Chevy in there. We got a 5.0 Mustang. We got a Jaguar. I mean, I know what you guys can do online with this. You get this rolling across the block and we're getting like $3,300 easily.
Maybe even more.
Maybe even more. This is still on the MSO, et cetera and so forth, Monte Carlo Aero Coupe. I think it has like 600 miles on it.
Wow.
Window sticker still in the window.
See that.
Just super, super rad.
Wow.
And, these were the cars that they tried to do with NASCAR. And then they decided that they'd put them out for the public. And people with the back windows, they kept blowing out the back window because they had their windows down. But this, in 1969, they made two ZL ones, right? Or ZR ones? ZL ones.
Yep, top of the line, most power.
They only made two. And those cars are trading in the 2 million range, 2.5 million range. This is a triple black ZL1 car that was built by a guy named Jim Fueling to mimic exactly that. Now, is it real
pretty famous for creating fuel injection for motorcycles, isn't he?
Yes. And he wanted this car, and he also worked for GM Automotive, for General Motors. So this is a almost to the spec, absolutely perfect, date-coded 69 ZL1 that didn't exist. 4-speed, aluminum block, aluminum heads. I don't know how to put a number on that. I mean, if it was just a cool Corvette, it's worth 75 or 80 grand. Is it worth 150 or what? And look how lucky we're getting. There is a ladybug on it. It's all about luck right there. Just when you think you're done, we're not even halfway through. Literally. So in here, this bottom part used to be a shop and a service center, and people would park next to the freeway here and come in and what have you. And then as he moved the business down the street, he turned this into like his collectibles. This is the one and only Studebaker, because it has a Studebaker light. And I don't even know what this is. Now, he told me there was something super special about this motor, the Hodaka. I got to do a little more research, and your people got to, but he said, Richard, he goes, this is sitting in this area for a reason. He goes, it's pretty special. The Smalls, I don't know what we do with all this stuff. Because I know people collect almost every single thing that's in here, but every single thing is in here.
Right.
We've got some life-size things. There's some dude in a Packers jersey. Who's that?
Well, looks like Bart Starr.
Bart Starr. Here's some kind of tennis ball player. I don't know. This stuff, obviously not probably worth a whole lot, but there's more. It's like when I was watching the Price is Right when I was a kid, and yet there's more. What's behind door number 2? Back here, John, I don't think this is anything your company's going to mess with, except for possibly this. Here is a CB50R.
Oh, boy.
Still in the container.
I like it.
Oh, that's going to just break the internet. We got clothing, we got weird stuff. They were going to have kind of a tchotchke type place. I don't know. But we can look at it eventually. But for now, I think we just kind of mark this room as it's just here, don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah. That's a CB50R, brand new, in the box, in the crate, never been undone. Now, at a recent auction, they sold one of those for $20,000. So what's that one worth? I hope 22. So just when you thought you'd seen enough, you got to pay a little bit of attention as far as like all of these signs.
Great
like
sign.
That's porcelain. Those are porcelain. I mean, there's some really, really unbelievable stuff when it comes to memorabilia. I know we can't move everything. I mean, that's a little Honda from the
Cool piece.
60s.
I think way back there I just saw a Suzuki Samurai.
There's a Suzuki Samurai back there and a couple other cars. Here's where we get into the car stuff. There's a 63 Buick Riviera over there. So in here, and scattered amongst the entire property is cars. This Corvair has only like 13,000 original miles. The little Blazer back there has a built-up small block. The Cuda, you know, who knows? Maybe we bring that, maybe we don't. My problem is I want to have an auction here, but Minnesota's being very difficult. So I got to figure out if this is something you and your team want to take on. The cars in here, he literally drove in and parked. This is a 20,000 mile 4-speed Z28, red interior, T-top black. Look at that.
That's
it's
nice.
like absolutely perfect.
4-speed. So clean up good.
That's a big time race car from up here. It's got a lot of history. A couple of Thunderbirds. All of these little cars up here.
Ooh,
That
what's
Star
this?
Car.
Is that a real Polaris?
Yes.
Star car?
And the urban legend is that those things were so dangerous, they sold the car as by itself, and you took your snowmobile motor in the middle of summer, and you put it in the car so you could go have some fun. And they only made a few, and people were getting hurt. So
Didn't they kind of like recall them before recalls were
yeah,
cool?
it's been told to me that they dug like a giant pit and shoved every one of them into it and covered it up. But that's a real deal Star car.
I've never seen one in person.
There's a 32 Ford go-kart, probably one of the better ones I've ever seen in my life. And this is an 8-lug, automatic, air conditioning, you know, just tricked out freaking Grand Prix. There's a market for that. There's a market for this convertible Dodge truck. That's an SS 454. And then that Trailbreaker thing,
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
wow,
that I've
yeah.
ever seen that before.
I think that those were used in the desert. I'm pretty confident that those wheels are actually gas tanks. So you'd stop, you got stuck out in the desert, and you actually take them off, fill yourself back up from gas, and get where you're going. Those are super rare.
Got to be super rare. And then look at the pedal car airplane up there. That's all metal. I mean, it just, the place goes on and on. Here is I think it's cool. What is it worth? I'm still trying to determine, but this is a hill climb, you know, with the extended rear axle.
Yep.
And a rear swing arm. And that's a Triumph. I mean, Denny is just, he's a madman. You know, he's 80 or approaching 80 years old and still loads his own bikes into a van and goes and ride with his wife, who's the same age as him, in like Colorado or Sturgis or wherever.
That's awesome.
I hope I can do that when I'm 80. Or I hope I don't make it to 80. I don't know. Still trying to decide. That's a Packard Street Rod of some kind. This is like the wagon. If Christine, the movie, would have been a wagon, it would have been made out of this. And you know, you like this sweet ass $3,500 ride.
It's a lot of fun for that kind of money, though.
Hell yeah, it is. It was sold new to the original owner.
Fully documented rumor.
So we'll go back here. I'll show you a little bit of this. We've got a ton of lights and signs. I think there's a
Look at
four-door
this
Chevelle.
Firestone sign.
The Firestone sign, it
Wow.
really disappoints me, but I think that it's missing the top piece of the rest of
Sure,
the tire.
right.
But
This
I
is-
haven't
this is
seen
a
one
neon,
this old.
too. This is an incredible piece.
I haven't seen one this old. Denny was guessing to me that it's in the 20s. I don't know.
That's a special piece.
You know me, I like a nice piece. Oh! So, we've got an old Sinclair sign. Everybody has them, but that's a real one and it's complete.
It's a big one. It's great.
And like I said, the Riviera, this crazy cool van, which is what Denny and his wife used to use to go flat tracking. He would literally put that Harley that you see in there in this and go flat tracking.
That's fantastic.
How cool is that? Got the Astro van. We've got trailers that we do not know what's in them, literally. Up here, there's a pretty cool piece. I don't know about the Montego or Montero or whatever they call these things, but there is a 2-piece, 20-foot Oldsmobile, double-sided porcelain neon.
Wow.
That I think could be real cool. And then this other one here is a some type of diner sign. I haven't really come back here and inspected it yet, but you know me, I've got a lot of signs and I love that stuff, so I think it does well. And let's see, out here, tons of trailers, tons of stuff. These airplane looking things were like rides at a carnival. And there's 2 or 3 of them on the property. That's a boat made out of the top of one of these.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes on. And then in the barn here, I guess you would call it, we have a LS infused El Camino, and probably my favorite funny vehicle on the property is a Volkswagen that's been rebodied onto a international 4x4. I see you and I cruising this all the way back to Indiana.
That's pretty neat.
This is us having fun right here. But I actually rode with him in this last time I was up here, and it's pretty funny. And the rafters, I don't know. This is the whole deal of what I got to figure out what I need to do. Denny entrusted me with this whole thing, and get rid of it, take care of. He's got a daughter, and take care of her and the family, and get it all gone. So what do you think?
Well, it's a tremendous lifelong collection. All of us relate to collecting, and obviously he did it at a pretty high level on a large scale for what he was going for. So it's wonderful, and the legacy that he has is wonderful. So it's cool that you have, harnessed up with him to take care of that part. And I understand, in these times having a little bit of challenges, and here in the state it's been a little tough for a lot of folks. But as I'm looking through things, what I would recommend, as we've done a lot of business together, we've been blessed to have a phenomenal facility. So it's a permanent auction facility that we own. So my office is in there every day. That's in Auburn, Indiana, and we've got 200,000 square feet, climate controlled, and it's a purpose use auction facility for cars, motorcycles, that kind of thing. And we have a memorabilia division, so we do a lot of that. So what I would say, given the overall circumstances, that we would my suggestion would be to take the motorcycles,
Okay.
a selection of the cars, and then a selection of the best memorabilia and collectibles, and move them to Auburn, to our facility. It'd be very simple for people to come in and out, showcase. We can really bring, I think, a lot of the feel and ambiance of what he has here there, and I think we sell them in a special auction that can obviously highlight his legacy, can highlight y'all's friendship, and I think can provide a fantastic result. And as you know, we're worldwide auctioneers, and we got people all over the world, and this is a group and a collection that is worthy of worldwide
the world's going to be
exposure
watching all these bikes for sure.
Yep. So I think that's my suggestion. I think that'd probably work out best for all things considered with what he's built, what you're trying to accomplish for him, and certainly the times. And I think the result, we're a marketing company as an auction company, And I think we can reach the right people all over the globe. And there's some special stuff here that I think will pique a lot of people's interest.
I think the Indian's going to blow people's mind, and there's a few bikes that I know are going to bring big number. I wanted to have a big party here. I've been with you guys at big events where you had them at the guys' locations, but it's just not happening right now with the way things are. So I say we move it all and load it up on trucks, get it to Auburn, Indiana, and have a big party and drink some beer and sell some stuff.
Sounds good to me. Let's
Good.
do it. Deal.
Right on. So there you go. It didn't go like I planned at the beginning with Denny. I wanted to have a big party here, but things are a little different in the world right now. And me and Worldwide Auctions and Mr. John Cruz here and Rod Egan are going to take the party to Auburn, Indiana. And we're going to have some fun. You've seen me have fun before, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
I'm really good at it.
Yes, you are.
I mean, like totally excellent. I'm the most funnest having fun dude ever.
Then I'm here to balance you out.
Oh, no, you can't stop me, dude.